So, no, I wouldn't say I have a passion for HR.
Welcome back to Human Resources for the People. It's a human capital revolution. Today on Human Resources for the People, we're going to be answering Ask HR questions because I'm banned part 14. We've got a employee in Arizona that's a beggar. We've got an employer forcing floating holidays on Michigan, and in Nebraska, we got a boss that's sharing some names. So let's dig right into it, guys. We'll start there in Arizona. And the question is, I have an employee asking coworkers for money. This person's a manager, and apparently they've got an employee asking other employees for money. One gave them $75, and that person never paid it back. The question is, as a manager, is this something I should be involved with? Yes, shut it down. You've got to shut down asking for money because soon they're not going to pay that money back. And then when the coworker sees that, you're giving, or this employee is, buying food or doing something crazy with their money, people are going to get mad, and it's going to cause a lot of disruption in the workplace. Managers really have to take care and sort of be vigilant on this. You just simply pull the person aside and tell them that they're not allowed to ask for money in the area. If they ask you to cite a policy and you don't have one, which most companies don't, tell them you don't have one, but they're not allowed to, and it's not acceptable. You as the manager get to make the rules. You as the manager also have to reap the consequences. And an employee begging for money in the workplace can have some pretty serious consequences. So definitely nip it in the bud. Next one is out of Michigan, and it's one we honestly get a lot. It's an issue that happens quite a bit, although this one is with respect to floating holiday. It says, can my employer force us to use floating holidays on a specific day? They get a certain amount of floating holidays per year, which is, I've never gotten more than one or two, and I've never worked in an organization that's given more than one or two, but I think that's kind of interesting. This year we are having an operational vacation because they are expecting so many time off requests for a day before a paid holiday. If we don't use our floating holiday, we must use our PTO. Can they force us to do it? Yeah. I mean, the answer is yeah. There is no federal regulations surrounding holidays or vacations at all. Now, on the state level, Michigan, I don't believe has any vacation specific information, although you may look at Detroit in specific, but I would presume that none of them have specific requirements surrounding floating holidays or the usage of them. It's just a benefit that isn't federally mandated, and frankly kind of flies into the face of some of the arguments surrounding benefits, right? There is no government compulsion for employers to provide these things, yet they still do, and there's a lot of reasons for that. But it's one of those things that I think that people should be mindful that employers will still give them away regardless of whether or not the government tells them to. The next one out of Nebraska just cracks me up. It says, can my boss drop my name when talking to coworkers? I had a coworker tell me that their kid was sick, so they might call in sick for work the next day. I was preparing for the next day when my boss asked me why I was completing a task for my coworker. They said it was in case the coworker didn't show up. My boss then contacted said coworker and told them what I specifically said. This has caused a lot of drama in my workplace. Well, for one, I think that your boss should stand up a little bit because your coworker is knowing that, or likely knowing that their kid is going to be sick and that they need to take care of them, and they aren't planning their absence. Be a responsible adult, and allow the manager to know so that they can prepare. Um, I mean, perhaps the coworker thought that the boss, wouldn't allow it or whatever. But if they're planning on it, they really should be discussing it with the boss, and there shouldn't be this secrecy. Um, so I think, that is, number one. Number two, to be totally honest, no, it's absolutely legal, right? There's no concern with that, but um, I think that the manager absolutely should leave your name out of it. I think that that's a bad way to go. But finally, yes, it's absolutely legal for a boss to tell someone else that someone told them something. Whether or not it's whether or not it's the best path forward, I'm not sure, but but they can absolutely drop your name in this circumstance, and sort of the idea that they couldn't is starting to get insane. There's a lot of this going around where is it legal to do really basic things, and of course it's legal, otherwise you couldn't operate. It's a little bit frustrating that people are sort of have the estimation that it might not be legal. I think it's an interesting topic. What do you think about today's video? Please comment down below, like, share, and subscribe. It really helps out. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.